Welcome back to the channel. Today it's a special day because we have a friend here. His name is Warren. Some of you know him, some of you don't. So how are you, Warren?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome.
Fun day.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk to Warren here, have you meet him with me, know a little bit more about him. He's a strong Tesla bull. He's an Elon all-in aficionado. And
Elon fanboy.
Elon fanboy. SpaceX, Boring Company,
Neuralink,
and Tesla.
I've heard of Tesla, yeah.
You heard of Tesla? Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is, it's gonna be two things at the same time. So today we're not only going to talk a little bit to Warren and meet him a little bit better, but we're also gonna take a ride in FSD Beta in my Model 3. Today's actually the day before the next update. Tomorrow night, I should get, supposedly we're gonna get, it's gonna be 2 weeks since the last update that we received with the full self-driving beta version 9.1. So in theory, we're supposed to get in less than 48 hours version 9.2 of FSD beta. So what we're gonna do right now, while we talk to Warren, is that we put in a restaurant in the navigation. So we're gonna have the car take us to the restaurant, a really good place, a really good Indian restaurant that we're gonna go grab some food to eat. And in the meantime, let's just chat a little bit and see how it goes. So I'm just gonna pull out here because I can't really turn on FSD beta to back out and go to where we need to go. But now we're gonna get going and we're gonna be on our way. So even though we're going to be showing FSD beta, the main thing here is for you guys to, you know, talk to, you know, have a chat, and so that you guys can learn a little bit more about Warren. Yeah. So I actually just turned the FSD beta on in the middle of doing a stop sign. So let's have the car take us out.
Away we go.
And away we go. So Warren,
yes sir.
Talk to me a little bit about who is Warren.
I am a native of upstate New York, although technically I was born in Long Island, New York. At the age of 3, my family moved to Wisconsin. At the age of 7, my family moved to Albany, New York, in the Albany, New York area. And I lived in Albany for much of my life. And about 10 years ago, my wife and I decided we were tired of winters. And the stars aligned in terms of our business and our kids and what schools they were in. And we were able to make the move to South Florida and have not regretted it for a second. Very happy here. Miss our friends, but made new friends here. I am, I guess, arguably my career is I'm an attorney. Trial lawyer. I've had 50 jury trials, or more than 50 jury trials, criminal cases, mostly personal injury cases. I am mostly retired as a lawyer now. I decided that, well, when I moved to Florida, the lawyer thing didn't take off as well as I might have. I wasn't sure I wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't get a big law practice going. I've done a bunch of different things. We're in West Boca Raton, Florida right now. I created West Boca News, which we still run. My wife runs it basically.
Is that like a printed?
It's Facebook. It started as a website and then it ended up Facebook took off and has an Instagram and there's a Twitter, but it's the Facebook page is the big one. Instagram is not too bad. And so that's sort of like a mini business. And we were able to move down here because I created a website called towncourt.com, town-court.com, which is a directory of traffic and criminal courts, and we make money from advertising on that website. Okay. But since 2019, I started YouTubing. I got excited about SpaceX Starship, and I made a video about Starship, and that did well. And then I was like, all right, I'll make another video. Oh, that did well. I'll make another video. And all of a sudden, I'm making like 3 videos a week, and it's going great. And I'm not making lawyer money, but I don't need to. I make decent money. And I get paid to talk into a camera. I get paid to talk about and research stuff that I'm interested in. And I'm an investor in Tesla. And I've been investing for 25 plus years, my mother's money and my money. and I happened to make a good decision to buy Tesla stock in large quantities starting in 2016. And that turned out to be a really good financial move for myself and my mother, and my brother listened to me too. He bought a lot of Tesla stock, and that has worked out really well. So life is pretty good. I have 2 kids. One's in college in New York City, lives in Brooklyn, New York City / Long Island. The other one is a high schooler. Just started school yesterday, day before yesterday? Yesterday, I think.
Oh,
2
wow.
days ago, 2 days ago.
So soon. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And both kids are great. Both kids are good students. Both kids good in math, you know, active, productive, you know, the kind of kids I'm very proud of my kids. I think they've done really well.
That's awesome. And you're a lawyer also, right?
I'm a lawyer, yep. I was a lawyer for, like I said, 50 jury trials. But I'm mostly retired as a lawyer. I'm a little bit famous for something called Fair DUI, which was, if you Google FAIR space DUI, then I think if you Google my name, it probably comes up still.
Okay.
I had this whole approach for dealing with checkpoints that got me some publicity.
Okay.
And I think other little details, like I went to graduate school at Stanford University. I majored in mathematical economics in college, went to graduate school at Stanford University, something related to that, before going to law school. After law school, I went to Japan and taught English for a year. So I speak Japanese, I read some Japanese.
Oh, you do?
Yo hablo un poquito de español también. I speak a little Spanish. I can read French.
Oh, that's perfect.
I don't speak French very well, but I can read French.
Okay.
So I have a joke for you.
Shoot, go ahead.
Okay. You want it in Spanish or English?
Let's do English first.
Okay. What do you call someone who speaks 2 languages?
Bilingual?
Bilingual, right?
Yes.
What do you call somebody who speaks 3 or more languages? A lot of people don't know this word. It's a polyglot.
A polyglot?
Yeah, speaking 3 or more languages is a polyglot.
Okay, not
What do you call somebody
multilingual.
who speaks only 1 language? American.
I was just gonna say dumb.
American.
No, but dumb, you know.
And that's
not
a
to
lot
put down.
stronger joke
Yeah.
in upstate New York, where I'm from, and you're saying it to somebody who's from another country, because almost no one where I'm from speaks more than 1 language.
Well, but to be fair, everyone in the U.S. speaks 2 languages.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because they speak English and they speak American.
Okay.
So I'm still good with my, if you speak only 1 language, you're dumb, because that's usually true for any language.
Yeah.
That's what I meant for it.
So I think that's pretty much, I mean, there's probably more to the story, but that's pretty much it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's all I can think of.
And how is your YouTube going? What's your main? Because I know that you have several different types of videos that you have on YouTube.
Yeah, I make videos, like I started with SpaceX. I'm fascinated by Elon Musk. I should say my fascination with Elon goes back, it probably started with SpaceX and the first rocket booster landing in December 2015.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I generated revenue, more than $1 million in revenue with PayPal as an attorney. I've been using PayPal since like 2003 to take online payments as a lawyer. I don't think I've taken an online payment for a while, but I made literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in revenue on PayPal for several years. And you know, that's not profit, right? But that's revenue for the business. So PayPal made a meaningful impact on my life as well.
Okay.
So, and really, like, the online maps that we use came from Zip2. So I think Elon's had an outsized impact on our lives from very early on, and you know, from say 2000 or something like that.
Totally.
But I make videos primarily about Tesla. I mean, Tesla's probably my biggest topic, but SpaceX is a big topic. I love Boring Company and Neuralink. I think they're both really, really important. So I just did a video about Neuralink. I just did a live stream about Boring Company today, where I talked to a guy in Ireland who wants to create a loop in Dublin, a boring tunnel system in Dublin, Ireland. So, and then sometimes related topics, or even loosely related topics, like I'm fascinated by, I've made 2 videos, or one video and 1 live stream interview about Beyond Meat, which is alternative meat.
I love Beyond Meat.
Plant-based meat, Impossible Foods. I edited a video, and it was called Beyond Impossible. And then I just interviewed Mayor Thacker, he's a big Beyond Meat fan. He thinks it's a good. I actually bought stock after interviewing him. I was like, okay, I'm over it now. I had like reservations, and like, no, he persuaded me. I'm buying some stocks. I bought like, I don't know, $12,000 or $15,000 worth of stock.
Okay.
I bought 120 shares. I think it was $15,000 in stock. So, and like I'm the world's leading critic of Lucid Motors.
Yes, I know. I've seen it.
Yeah, so I think I've made 7 videos critical of Lucid Motors, and I made a video critical of Neo Motors or Neo Global or whatever they're called. So I make sometimes related videos, related topics, and I'm actually thinking like, what else do I want to do? And I have an idea for. I have some very strong political views that you can't say on YouTube without fear of getting demonetized. And I have a Patreon account, and you really can't say it on your Patreon account for fear of getting demonetized. So, what do I do with my strong political views? Well, I created an account on locals.com, which is Dave Rubin's platform, and I'm thinking about making some videos about politics on there. And then really weird, I do Tai Chi and something called Qigong, which is like, Tai Chi is a very slow martial art, and Qigong the Qigong that I do is like Tai Chi without moving your feet.
Okay.
Okay, it's a very meditative, stretching and meditation, and I don't know what else to call it. Stretching and meditation.
That's
type
good
thing.
for your spinal cord, and
it's good for everything. I mean, I'm not saying like a medical opinion. I'm saying it works for me.
yeah. Okay.
I think it's good for your peace of mind and a lot of things. So I'm thinking about making a series of videos, probably not on my regular channel, that are more, if you know the term, evergreen content. Like, I have some forms that I learned from a teacher, and he's like vanished. Like I wouldn't make these videos if he was still active, but I literally can't find him. He was like he's probably like in his 70s, Chinese guy. I don't know if he died. I don't know what happened. But I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about making these videos for a while. I think I'm gonna make videos about how to do these forms.
Okay.
And he has videos that are like on DVD, but they're like, I think I could do better. Plus they're all like 480i or something. They're like
really old format.
Yeah, whatever the original DVD format is, they're like that. And one of them I have is on VHS.
And this is doing like the Tai Chi and stuff?
I'd be doing Qigong, just Qigong.
Qigong, okay.
I don't like. I think there's this particular set of Qigong, and I could make like easily 30 plus videos. Like, here's the whole form, and then here's how to do this one piece of the form, and here's how to do this other piece. There's like 20 moves in a form.
Okay.
So I could do a whole video of here's the form, and then I could do a video, here's how to do move 1, here's how to do move 2, here's this part, and there's 20 of them, right? So there's like 70 videos in there. Okay. And they're evergreen content, like somebody who wants to go back and watch it again can watch it again.
Okay.
And I think you make it where there's no ads in the middle, because that would screw up the video. Right? You wouldn't want it. Maybe there'd be the little pop-up ads, but not something that's going to interrupt the flow of the video, because that screws the whole point.
Okay, so
that's an idea.
You're a big Tesla advocate and SpaceX and Elon and all that stuff. You're into Tai Chi and Qigong?
Qigong. Yeah.
Qigong.
I did Kung Fu years ago too.
I used to practice Kung Fu for many years.
The Kung Fu I did was kind of connected to the Qigong and the Tai Chi. It was the same teacher.
Okay.
I was much younger.
Now, I know that because you're a SpaceX fan also, I know that you have some plans coming up for going to Starbase, right?
Yeah, there's 2 different sets of plans. So plan 1 is I may go soon. I have a friend I want to meet up with and check out Starbase and together, and maybe go to Giga Austin. And then the bigger plan is to identify when we think the launch is likely to happen, ballpark, and then rent a house for a month.
Okay.
And invite a whole bunch of people to, like,
Tesla community and
Tesla SpaceX
fans.
community. Yeah, it's like sort of like, the problem with Starbase is there's not a lot of infrastructure around Starbase. There's not a lot of hotels. Elon has actually complained that the area doesn't really have as much infrastructure, and he's now realized
they're gonna build something, right?
Well, they can build some infrastructure, but there's just not enough.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, like they located Giga Texas in Austin because Austin is a thriving community with a large population, a lot of engineers.
Right.
People want to live there. People don't really want to live at the southern tip of Texas.
Right, but
They want to go there and drink at spring break, but they don't want to live there.
Yeah, but they're doing what they're doing there because of the location.
It turned out to be a good place for what they're doing, but
Yeah.
in the long run, like, what did he say? He said they couldn't test Starship at Canaveral because there's too much infrastructure there, and you don't want to blow up a Starship and wreck the infrastructure at Canaveral.
Yeah.
Where Starbase is, there's not a lot of infrastructure. If you blow up a Starship, you're not likely to damage anything important. So, I think the long run, they're actually planning on launching more from Canaveral. But anyway, so trip one is I'm probably going to make a trip in the middle of September to just go out and check out Starbase and hang out with a friend.
Okay.
And then trip two is going to be like I don't think I'll be there for the month, but we'll rent a place for a month and I'll pop out for a week and hopefully have 2 or 3 other people who are in on it. So I'm there for week one, somebody else is there for week 2, and you know, when we know that the launch is going to happen, then everybody shows up and we cram as many people as we can, and you know, basically ask people to chip in. Sort of like, not going to be on GoFundMe, but some sort of like a GoFundMe thing to raise money for funding the house, because it's probably going to cost $10,000 for a month for what I think we're going to do.
Okay.
I originally had the idea I'm just going to rent something myself for $2,500, and if people want to chip in a few bucks, great. But talk to a bunch of people, and it seems like a lot of people are interested. So maybe we get a much bigger house that can, you know, house 20 plus people.
Okay.
And you just expect, you know, when it's close to launch, there's going to be a bunch of people crashing on the floor, right? But you want people to have a safe place to go, and then you're sort of networked, and people can hang out with each other. And I don't want it to be a party house where, like, 100 people are coming and drinking every night.
No, yeah, you got to keep it under control.
Just, you know, a place where, you know, the people who are staying have a couple beers, maybe we have a grill, we barbecue something, and go to the beach, go watch whatever, you can see whatever's happening at Starbase from the southern tip of South Padre Island, so maybe that. Bunch of different ideas, we'll see.
Cool. And what is your main goal for the, you know, for everything that you're doing? What's your end game? Like, what's your main goal? Why are you spreading the word? Because for example, for me, I'm a very big Tesla and SpaceX and all things Elon advocate, in a part because I see the problems that we're having in the world, not just with the environment, but also with people. Yeah. Right, so there's different initiatives that he's working on that are going to benefit the humanity in general, like overall.
So I guess, well, number one, I would disagree with you slightly, if you'll forgive me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that the world is actually really good. It's better than it's ever been. But it certainly can be better, right? We would like it if things are better than they are. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to make the world a better place.
This is perfect. Look at how the car is doing. Look at that.
Very nice.
Look at that.
Very nice.
I didn't do anything.
We just entered the entrance ramp to the Sawgrass Expressway and it handled it really well.
Yeah, I mean, this is significantly better than the last time that you were in my car. Yeah. With version 9.0 of the FSD beta, because you didn't get in the car with this one at 9.1.
Okay, well, are we on autopilot or are we on FSD beta now that we're getting on a highway?
FSD all the way.
Oh,
yeah, it's all the way. So
is it one stack to rule them all now?
Yes. So right now, FSD beta vision only is part of the stack. I'm not sure that the actual FSD beta logic for navigation is in play because it hasn't been a problem on the highway anyway. Right. But what is very different now is that now we're on the highway and the car is using only vision. Okay. It's only using the cameras. So actually, I'm gonna take a quick look here because I don't know. Is this going to?
It's going the right way.
Oh, it's going the right way. Okay, I thought it was going to. There's another restaurant with the same name. We were talking about that earlier, and I thought it was going to near my house.
No, but let me answer your question though, about, you know, what's my. I wouldn't say I have a goal in the way you're describing it, but I would say this: what happened was when I made my first video about Starship, there was something happening with Starship, and I felt like, you know, I watched Tim Dodd's Everyday Astronaut channel, I watched Scott Manley, whatever. I was watching YouTube videos about the topic, and I had this urge to talk about something that no one else was talking about. I think that everybody has a unique perspective on things, and I felt like I had something to say that people weren't saying.
Right. Right.
And this in particular, the first video was about Starship 2.0 being 18-meter diameter instead of 9-meter diameter, what that might be like. And you know, when it comes to analyzing Tesla stock, I feel like I offer a different perspective than other people. When it comes to with like Boring Company and Neuralink, it's almost like there aren't that many people talking about it.
Right.
So I feel like there's something that is there to be said with a different perspective than maybe other people are offering. And I think to some extent there's also combating like the negatives, like the Tesla Q type people.
True, because they're mean. And by the way, I wasn't like what I was saying before, that wasn't a complete statement. So I was just a preface to what I wanted to say, which is there's all these good initiatives that Elon and his companies have. But in my case, my goal is to embrace the type of message that they spread, because I almost died in a motorcycle accident, right?
Yeah.
And the way that the Tesla community embraced me was insane. Like I was losing my will to have fun. And it brought back to me those desires to have fun and be, you know, doing things that matter for the better, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really want to say that I have an actual goal that is just strictly helping the environment, or, you know, but I do have some personal goals, some things that I'm very passionate about. Like, I don't eat meat, but it's not because of the meat itself, it's because of the animals. In my case, it's different. It's just that I'm
it's an ethical thing.
Yes, I'm to a point where I feel really bad to the way that we are doing the animal thing, right? But anyway, that's a different topic, and that's me.
Yeah.
This video is about you. People want to meet you, and I love listening and hearing the different perspectives. I think that what you're doing is very good, because it's very different. I watch other guys like Stephen
Mark Ryan.
Yes, he's one of my favorites, and the two of you say pretty much the same things in a different way.
Well, he's my identical twin cousin, but he's better looking. He has a cool accent, and he's more fun. So I can't watch him because I just feel inadequate whenever I watch him.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in the Tesla community, and overall, not just Tesla, but this is a little bit bigger than that. It's not just Tesla, but folks like you and Steven and Eli. I make good friends with Eli, everyday astronaut Tim Dodd.
I love Tim Dodd.
For those that don't know, Eli is he goes by Starman.
I met him.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of people like Ryan McCaffrey that we make good friends. Trevor from Canada, also he runs the Tesla Owners Online forum, and this big community that makes people feel closer.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And right now I can actually go anywhere in the world, and I know I have a friend, someone, it's an acquaintance that became friend through the Tesla community, for example.
You could go to Ireland and like know 3 people.
I probably know more than a few hundred, yeah. And that's a very good thing, because it brings us closer, and some people don't have the same goals, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I hate politics. I don't talk about politics because I don't think there's any way to win a political argument when someone's set on their ways on something.
Well, a policy argument maybe, but not a political argument. There's a difference between policy issue. So we could talk about like the policy issue of how do we make robotaxis, how do we like allow robotaxis to operate, and that's an important policy issue. If you start talking about abortion or taxes or corporations or whatever, or climate change or something like that, then you can get into like people get mad. But if you talk about a practical issue like how do we get robo-taxis out to more people, I think that's something you could probably talk about.
Yeah, I mean, when the technology is ready, the regulations have to be in place to accept it and let it operate. For example, here in Florida, since I think June 2019, the law was approved, so any company that has the guts to do it on public roads actually can. So I'm going to see if I have to disengage here or not. There's a construction here, and the car's not.
It sees it.
It didn't slow down. So I took over, I disengaged.
It was trying to go around because it didn't see the arrow.
Yeah, so I just sent
interesting.
I just reported that to the autopilot team using the little icon here on the screen, which is unfortunate because it was a perfect drive so far. And this scenario, I've seen it before. What I have noticed with this version of the FSD is that it's a little bit more aggressive. Yeah. And sometimes that's good, but in cases like this, I don't know if it has anything to do with that. Yeah. But let's see. Now I just reactivated, and right after this construction site,
it thinks that sign is a truck.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. So I already sent the note. It still sees the cones, so it needs to make a right on the traffic light. So hopefully it can do it soon. It still sees the thing, and oh, we got the.
It's trying to go straight.
Yeah, I'm going to disengage. I'm just gonna make the right turn here. So it actually could have gone, and I sent it just because the car kind of approached like.
Well, the navigation changed. It started what do you call the thing that out front? The tentacle. It was pointing straight ahead instead of right turn.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. So anyway, I reported that. They'll take a look at it.
That's a Chuck Cook thing. We gotta call Chuck Cook. Jazzman.
Yeah, so man, so 2 disengagements. We've been driving for 26 minutes.
And we're almost at the restaurant, by the way.
We're almost at the restaurant, so that's why I engaged again. I want to see how close to the destination is going to take us. And
the navigation. Can I look at the navigation?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, it's right.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to do its thing.
It's a left turn. It's an unprotected left turn with traffic coming the other way.
Yep.
So we'll see how it does that.
We'll see. So anyway, yeah. So that's the whole, the whole idea of being part of this community. At least for me. Yeah. I don't know for you, but for me, it's super fun. I have a lot of fun with it.
I would say that especially because of what we went through in the last 18 months. Where a lot of us were trapped at home, and I wasn't trapped at home as much as other people, but the fact that people were trapped at home, it was a way of networking with people, meeting people who weren't trapped at home. I got to meet a lot of new people that maybe I spent a lot of time on like Clubhouse, let's say, and oh, that was nice. Watch out. That was weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because it was doing it perfect. So I just sent another snapshot. So it looks like we just did 3 disengagements on a 30-minute drive, and I want to say that
it's gonna be fun to do in a few days when you have 9.2.
Yeah, so we may do the same drive and come to the same place so that we can trace the same route.
It's park anywhere.
Park anywhere. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna park it right here. Any final words? Let's plug your channel and any other information that you want to provide.
Warren Redlich on YouTube. Nothing that, well, I was going to say that one last thing, okay, because you're talking about goals. So I started with this thing that I had something I wanted to say that was different. I had a different perspective.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And that perspective has led me to something very different, which is I've become, I don't want to say wealthy, but I think by the standards of most of the world, wealthy because of the growth of Tesla stock. Mm-hmm. And I basically benefited because I bought into Elon, and I benefited in a big way. Okay. And if you remember back in like the 80s or 90s, Michael Jordan was playing basketball, and there was this Gatorade commercial, Be Like Mike. Yes. And I feel like if you were successful because of Elon, if you invested in Elon and you made money because of Elon, and you now have wealth because of Elon, I think you have, I don't want to call it a moral obligation, but I guess I would say I feel a moral obligation that I need to try to be like Elon. Like, what did Elon do when he made $100 million, $80 million, or $220 million from selling PayPal? Did he go buy a yacht and sit on the back of the yacht and sip drinks? Exactly. Did he go chase women? Did he, no. He said, I'm going to double down. Yeah. I'm going to invest in something. I'm going to try to build something. So now I'm in this mode where, I want to do something. I want to build something. I want to invest in something. I want to make the world a better place. And I'm on a kick where I've started working towards an electric vehicle company, single passenger. It's not focused. I'm working on developing a single passenger EV that will be for robotaxi use, that will accelerate the transition to sustainable energy and sustainable transportation to the people, to the poorer people of the world. What Tesla's doing, and I love what Tesla's doing, is it's starting with the richest people and working its way down to the middle class and rich countries. Like right now, it's still working on accelerating the transition to people who are like the middle class and rich countries. Tesla is not reaching even the upper middle class in poor countries. So can I create a small single passenger EV that's really inexpensive, that's better than the crappy little vehicles that people are riding around on the streets of India or Egypt, Africa, whatever, you know, identifying places where people are not doing well. And can we create something that's a low cost enough that we can provide transportation for them? And there's some compromises there. And it's like the best part is no part. Well, maybe we don't need brakes. This is like crazy, right?
Okay.
Maybe we don't need brakes. Maybe we can just use, you know, the engine braking, you know, EV regenerative braking. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we don't need a suspension. Maybe we can go with just, you know, soft, you know, deflated tires.
So
and,
you're on the first phases of developing this.
I hired someone who's a friend of mine, who's an engineer, who's into this topic, and he's doing a computer-aided design of an alpha prototype, and I think we're going to build an alpha prototype together.
Okay.
And see how that goes. And I think I'm self-funding so far. It's not costing me a lot of money. If that goes well, then maybe we do a beta prototype. Maybe at some point I do a crowdfunding round. I want to put off crowdfunding as long as possible. I want to put my money in, build it myself. But at some point, I think I'm going to need to hire an engineering team.
Okay.
To build, you know, something either close to an actual working production vehicle or, you know, darn close. And, you know, this is not complicated. This is way simpler than a Tesla Model 3.
Yeah.
What I want to build. And I have a good concept of it in my head, and I need somebody to help me flesh it out, somebody to help me build it. And that's an example. Another one is, I think, affordable housing. Not federal law, U.S. federal law affordable housing, but can we find a way to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy by building housing that doesn't use as much energy to be built, and that has integrated solar and integrated batteries and maybe integrated Starlink or maybe integrated security cameras with Tesla AI, you know, Tesla Vision AI. You know, can we find a way to take this technology and expand it to providing housing for people who need it at lower cost than what it costs now, while using less resources, doing less damage to the environment?
Boring company bricks?
No, probably not.
No, I mean, I'm kidding.
I wouldn't rule that out, but that's probably very labor intensive, and labor intensive ends up being resource intensive. But I'm talking with a friend of mine. We just identified, I just identified a piece of land we might buy.
Okay.
And that's another idea for a startup. You know, can we do something? If you've been successful, if you have banked, you know, more than $1 million, let's say, and you can live cheap, because you know, Elon doesn't need a fancy house. What do I have? You saw my fancy house. You know, so can I go down a path where I can do something meaningful?
Right.
And, you know, I'll never be Elon, right? I'm not saying be Elon. I'm saying be like Elon. What can you do in your community or on a larger scale? And I see something that I think I can do. Right.
Basically do something for others as well. You know, because, you know, it's only fair, right? Like, well,
in general, I think you should. I'm a big fan of Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's perfect, but I'm a big fan of his. I guess I would call it his self-help mantra, his book 12 Rules for Life and stuff like that. You know, first of all, get your life in order. My life's in order. I'm good. You know, clean your room, walk around. You know, don't just live in your mom's basement, right? Do something more.
Right.
Don't be a leech on others. And then, okay, once you've done that, okay, can you take on more responsibility? Can you help your family? Can you make life better for the people immediately around you? Okay, you've accomplished that. Can you do something for your town, for your community? Can you do something? Can you do more than just have a job? Can you create jobs, right? You know, what can you do to do something bigger? And, you know, what's amazing about Elon, if you think about it, is how much has he taken on his shoulders?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Right? You know, we all take some pressure on. I have kids. I raised kids. I'm helping my mom is not doing well, and I have to take care of my mom. We all take certain responsibilities on our shoulders. That's adulting, basically, right? But, you know, Elon has taken more on his shoulders than any human has ever taken.
Yep.
And
he works so hard.
He works really hard, but he's doing more for more people. I mean, you know, people ask, why are you such an Elon fanboy? Like, well, tell me somebody who's done more for humanity.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, and, you know, I'm not saying there, and they'll be like, well, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, if he's number 2 to Jesus Christ, can we, if you got Mother Teresa and Gandhi and Jesus Christ, and he's number 4, that's still pretty darn good. right? Give me somebody who's actually done more for humanity than that. And I think it's really stretched to find somebody. The guy who developed, nitrogen fixing fertilizers. Okay, that's pretty big, right? I mean, there's a few things that are really big that made a big difference in the world, but it's a pretty short list of people who've done more than Elon,
Yeah,
and he's not done.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about the top price. It's about at least he's doing some really good stuff.
Right, but he's working, endless hours. He's taken a lot on his shoulders, and he's figured out that, I don't need to sit on the back of the yacht.
Yeah. Exactly.
He has some fun.
Mm-hmm.
He posts memes, and he's got a cute girlfriend. He's got a kid, whatever. He's got a bunch of kids. He enjoys life to some extent, but what he really enjoys in life is doing something.
Yep.
And I feel like I need to learn from that. Okay, I need to do something. Because I could spend the rest of my life sitting on the couch watching Netflix.
Exactly.
Right? I could chase women or, whatever. I want to do something. I'm not a drinker. I don't want to do drugs. I don't want to snort coke on the back of somebody's yacht. That's not what I want to do. I want to do something meaningful and make life better for everyone as much as I can. And I'm not saying I'm going to succeed. This is an important detail, right?
Right.
When Elon started Tesla and SpaceX, or, got involved in Tesla and started SpaceX, he figured there was a small chance of success. I'm going in saying I'm going to try to do some stuff, small chance of success. But what else am I going to do? Watch Netflix?
Exactly.
Watch Amazon Prime? I need to do more.
That's cool. I like that part of you. Well, Warren,
So you asked for something more, that's something more.
thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have this ride with you. I hope you enjoyed the ride.
I did.
With the FSD Beta, even though at the end they're kind of screwed up a little bit.
Hey, it's not fun if you don't make mistakes. You don't learn if you don't make mistakes.
Yeah, so I don't know. Stay tuned because in a couple of days we may do the same ride with version 9.2 and see how it goes.
I'm really stoked for version 10 in a few weeks, but
yeah.
I'm good. I think that
Baby steps.
9 point. Yeah, it's. I think the stack merges more, and we're going to see more improvements.
Yep. Awesome.
It's gonna happen fast.
Yep. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you actually like it. And I'm gonna put the link to Warren's YouTube channel here as well, so that if you've never seen it, go ahead and check it out. And again, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.
To the moon.